Are you a founder who's struggling to build their personal brand? If the answer to that is yes, then you've come to the right spot. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur, or if you're just getting started, or if you're just an aspiring founder, having a personal brand is really, really important. Now, here are three reasons why you need a personal brand. Firstly, you need to stand out from the crowd. India is the third country with the most number of startups. The first being the US, second being the China, and third being India. So, in this sea of founders, what makes you stand out? What is your it factor? Why will people purchase your products? Why will people support your startup? That is why you need a personal brand, because people connect more with people, not companies. That is why, if you see any big company, be it Boat, Aman Gupta has a way stronger base than Boat. The founder needs to have a much stronger personal brand than the startup itself, because people connect with other people, not with brands. Another amazing example of this is Parul Gulati. So before she came on Shark Tank India, she had already established an amazing personal brand with a lot of followers on Instagram and other platforms, because of which when she launched her company Niche Hair, it was very easy for her to start because a lot of people knew her, and hence a lot of people were okay with buying her product because they trusted her. That is why having a personal brand as a founder can really give you a lot of leverage today, and this can also help you reduce your marketing expenditure by a lot. A strong personal brand is also a mark of trust and credibility. Having a personal brand makes people believe that you are authentic and hence they trust you. जब लोग आपके प्रोफाइल को देखते हैं, they understand that you are a person just like them, you have your own traits, and they are able to relate with you. A personal brand also helps you in attracting a lot of opportunities. If you have a strong personal brand, people are able to find you online, because of which automatically you'll get a lot of opportunities. So, building a personal brand is the best way to increase your luck surface area. Now that we know why founders need a personal brand, let's help you build your personal brand as a founder. Any startup that is not building its founders or its employees' personal brand is actually missing a huge hit that is helping a lot of startups scale up in 2024. So this year, make sure that you build a very, very solid personal brand, whether you're a founder or an employee. Now, let's move on to how you can create a personal brand. Firstly, create your own position in the market. Know two things: what are you going to talk about and whom are you going to talk to? You really need to know your main topics, your content pillars, and what gets you excited. What are the topics that you really like talking about? And secondly, figure out who is your target audience. Are you trying to talk to an adult? Are you trying to talk to a teenager? The adult that you're trying to talk to, where do they live? Do they live in India? अगर वो इंडिया में रहते हैं, देन आपका कंटेंट हिंदी में होना पड़ेगा. हिंदी में कंटेंट बनाना is beneficial. But if they live outside, then you need to switch to a more universal language like English. So you really need to know whom you're targeting, what's their age, what are the likes, what are the dislikes, where do they live, what kind of environment are they surrounded by, what are their values. These things will help you format your writing in such a way that you reach the right kind of people that you're looking for. Now, there are multiple questions that you need to answer. Firstly, what are your values? What kind of things do you believe in? What are your core beliefs? Secondly, what's your USP? So, we all know that products have USP, but you as a person, what is your USP? Why should people follow you? What is different about you that your competitors don't have? Thirdly, what's your expertise? So be authentic about it and be honest, but try to build your expertise in one topic before you start producing content on that, so that you are a reliable source of information. Fourthly, figure out what you want to be associated with. Make sure that your personal brand aligns with your values and your mission, because you don't want a personal brand that is not serving your future. Remember that your personal brand is your reputation online, so it has to align with your future goals, it has to align with what you believe in. So make sure that you have these things in mind whenever you're creating content. Now, the most important thing is picking the right platform by understanding what's your frequency and the format that you are comfortable with. There are so many social media platforms, so it gets very confusing to select which ones you want to be on and which ones you don't want to be on. The way that you decide which platform you like is by understanding, is your target audience present in that platform? Secondly, does the frequency of the platform doable for you? And thirdly, does the format of the platform interest you? I think LinkedIn is the best place to grow right now. LinkedIn is the best platform for forming B2B connections. So if you're a professional getting started, I think LinkedIn is the best place to be. LinkedIn usually has more long form content. So if you are interested in writing, LinkedIn is again a great place to be. However, for more like reels and trendy audios are not found on LinkedIn very much. What is found mostly on LinkedIn is educational and helpful content. YouTube. So YouTube is best if you want to form a deep connection with your audience, because I mean on YouTube you're honestly seeing somebody for like 15-20 minutes. So I am sure even if you're watching the video at this point, you're able to relate with me at some level. You hopefully you have formed some kind of a trust with me because of YouTube, because this is long platform. So you're seeing what my background looks like. YouTube is really good to foster these connections, and also YouTube is the good place to get famous. So like the people that have the most number of following on Instagram or Twitter have so because they are already popular. So they have built their network in some other place and then transferred their audience to either Twitter or Instagram. But in the case of YouTube, YouTube has actually built people from scratch. Celebrities like Emma Chamberlain or very popular personalities like PewDiePie or Mr. Beast have been created by the YouTube platform, because of which I think this platform has the ability to create a lot of famous people. So that's a good place to be if that's something that you're interested in. However, YouTube requires a lot of work. The amount of investment in terms of time that goes onto YouTube is crazy. You have to script all these videos, you have to record it, edit, do the SEO, figure out the thumbnail. So basically, there's like a lot of work that goes behind YouTube. So you have to figure out if YouTube works for you in that way. However, one advantage is that the frequency of YouTube is low. So basically, even if you post twice a month, that's enough to slowly grow an audience on YouTube. Twitter is very opinionated, that's what I think. It's very easy to get trolled on Twitter. LinkedIn, in contrast, does not have a lot of negativity, but Twitter does. People do get trolled a lot on Twitter, as you know. And because of that, Twitter, I think, is better if you already have a following. And Twitter is more about short and quick communication with your audience. So if you want to be a thought leader, if you just want to share random thoughts that come to you, then I think Twitter is the best place. So I think a very good way to use Twitter is to test out ideas. So you can just put in your idea and see how that does on Twitter. And then on the basis of that, you can maybe write a longer piece on that idea. The fourth platform is Instagram. I think everybody is on Instagram nowadays. I think it's one of the platforms where you should have a personal brand because almost everybody is on Instagram. However, Instagram is more like a consumer oriented place. So you really have to focus on the visuals. So your content on Instagram has to be aesthetic and you have to be regular on that platform. However, it's a good place to be because it's more informal. So Instagram does help you form better connections with your audience. So like another platform is Facebook, but Facebook has just become so overcrowded with ads. So I think my generation is not on Facebook. I've hardly met any Gen Zs that are on Facebook. So if you're targeting Generation X or Generation Y, then I think you should have a Facebook profile. But if your main audience is Gen Z or the later half of millennials, then I don't think that Facebook is the best place to be. Do take my advice with a grain of salt and figure out what's best for you. One quick reminder is not to believe everything that a person online says, because the best way of figuring out what works for you is trial and error. So which brings us to the third point, that is keep testing until you find what works for you. In the initial couple of months or even years, you'll not be able to figure out what is the best thing that works for you. So figure out what time your audience is most active at, what kind of format works for you. Take some time, don't be so harsh on yourself, keep patience. So try to understand what is the best thing that is getting you results and what is working for you. Moving back to the platforms, don't try to grow your audience in too many places. Build your strong presence in one platform and then transition to the rest. I think my main platforms are LinkedIn and YouTube. Another amazing way to grow your personal brand is through PR. There's a difference between PR and advertisement. PR is when other people are featuring you in their stuff. This lets you build leverage. So if I mention another YouTuber or another influencer here, I am mentioning them because I think they are good. So, my audience, you will automatically think that this is a good person that I can approach. So, it's always good to have some PR events, like getting invited to podcasts or events or sessions where you're supposed to talk, or getting featured in articles. So, this is PR. Advertisement, on the other hand, is that you're just self promoting yourself. So, any given day, people are more likely to trust you if you're heavily involved in PR and not advertisement as much. Also, PR is like a two-way process. So the person that features you also benefits from it because they get access to your traffic. This is why if you have a strong personal brand, you will get more PR opportunities because the person knows that by inviting you to their thing, they can get access to your network. So make sure that you have a strong personal brand and you get involved in more PR activities to grow that brand. This is a complete self reinforcing cycle. And one thing to remember is that personal branding is not about vanity. You're not doing this for the numbers, you're doing this for the opportunities that you get because of having a strong personal brand. You are doing this because this helps you build trust and credibility in your niche. Another quick tip is to follow profiles or people that inspire you. When I say this, I don't mean that you should copy their content. What I mean is that you should learn from them and see what works for them. In social media, it is not recommended that you invent your own wheel. Rather, see what works for other people and also see what works for you. Learn that, improvise it, and double down. This is the way that you get good on social media. Now, my top tip for you is be consistent. Personally, I have been doing social media for over 3 months now, and I have not been consistent. And the problem with that is that any person now is bombarded with so much content that if you're not showing up daily on their page, they will forget about you. So, unless you're consistent, unless you're showing up every day or every week and reminding them that, hey, I exist, they will not remember about you. They'll forget you, and hence, you'll not be able to grow an audience that trusts you. So it is very important to be consistent and authentic, and always remember that social media is a game that is won by somebody who is consistent over a long period of time. You have to show up every single day. So who thought that social media is about building discipline? And with that, we'll come to the end of this video. If you liked what I said, please subscribe below for more such content. At my personal channel, that is Vamika Singhal, and at Founderly, which is my startup, we help founders build strong personal brands. We help them grow their startups, and we also help them build their skills. So, if any of these three things interest you, make sure to hit that subscribe button below and stay tuned for more.